Assalamu alaikum everyone, how are you? Today I am going to take your English second paper class. Today's topic is article. I have already taught you in our class, so today I will give you a quick revision. At first we will know what is article. As we know, a, an and the are called article in English. You know how many vowels in our English letter? There are 5 vowels: A, E, I, O, U, and rest of all letters are consonant like B, C, D, F, G, H, and rest of all. So there are 2 kinds of article: indefinite article and definite article. We have to know what is indefinite article and definite article. At first, a and the is called indefinite article and only the is called definite article. There is no particular difference between a and an. A means one and means also one. If the person is only one or singular number, before the noun there will be a or an. At first we have to see the word and the first letter of this word. If the first letter of the word is vowel, that means if the first letter of the word is from these 5 letters, then there will be an. If the word begins with the consonant, then before the words there will be a. Okay, let's see the use of a. Where should we use a? If we pronounce letters, then here we will say a. If we pronounce the line, then there we will call a, not a. Okay, let's before consonant there will be a consonant. You have to remember, before consonant there will be a. Okay, let's see the first word. The first word is boy and the first letter of this word is B. B is consonant, so before B we will use a. Second, here is hen. The first letter of the word is H. H is also a consonant. Then before it we will use a. Okay. Here is goat. G-O-A-T, goat. The first letter is G. G is also consonant. Then what should we use there? A or an? We know before consonant we will use a, so we will write here a. Then chair, C-H-A-I-R, chair. The first letter of this word is C. C is also consonant. Then what should we write here? We will write here a. Okay, number 2. Before abbreviation there will be a. Abbreviation means short form. Here is BA. The full form of BA is Bachelor of Arts. So Bachelor of Arts, if we write BA, it will be abbreviation. So before abbreviation we will use a. Then here is BSc. Full form is Bachelor of Science. Then Bachelor of Science, short form is BSc. Then what should we put here? We will put here a. But you have to remember that if the first letter of the abbreviation pronounced as consonant, then we will put a. If the first letter of abbreviation is pronounced as consonant, then we will use A. Okay, now we will see use of N. Before vowel there will be N. We know vowel is A, E, I, O, U. Okay, here is apple. Apple. তাহলে হচ্ছে apple, the first letter A is vowel, then before vowel we will use N. Here is first letter E, egg. E. Before vowel we will use N. Okay, here is umbrella. Umbrella, first letter is U. U is also a vowel. Then what should we write here? We will write here N. Okay, there is also some other rules we will run about it. I have marked it as exception, so you have to remember this very carefully. If there is a vowel at the beginning of a word and it is pronounced like U, then we will use A. Then A sits before it. You have to remember this. Before the beginning of a word, if the pronounced is like U, then you have to use A. Why should we use A? Because we know that before vowel we will use N. Then if the word is vowel, then why should we use A? Remember it. If the pronounced is like U, then we will use A. Here we used N. Here is the first letter U, but that is not pronounced as U. It's pronounced as umbrella, A. But if the pronounced is like U, then we will use A. Let's see the examples. Okay, here is the word unicorn. It's pronounced as unicorn. Then the first letter is U, but we pronounce as U, so there will be A. Here is also another word is U, and the pronounced is like U. The first letter is E. We know if the first letter is vowel, then we will use N, but I have used here A. Why? Because the letter is pronounced as U. That's why we will use A. Okay, here is university. U, university. The pronounced is U. Then what should we use here? We will use here A, not N. If the pronounced is like A, then we will use N. But though U is a vowel, but it's pronounced as U, that's why we will use here A. Here is also another word is European. U. The first letter is E, vowel, but we will not use here N. We will use here A because it's pronounced as like U. Okay, next exception 2. If there is S at the beginning of a word and pronounced as A, not A. It's pronounced as A and O, then N sits before it. Okay, attention please here. Though H is a consonant, but if it pronounced as a or wa, we'll use here an, not a. Let's see the example. Here is H-O-U-R. The pronounced is our, not hour. The pronounced is our. The first letter is pronounced as a. If the pronounced as a, we will use an. Another example, H-O-N-E-S-T, honest, not honest. It's honest. If the pronounced is o, we will use an, not a. Okay. Here is honorable, not honorable. It's honorable. The pronounced is like o, then we will use here an, not a. Keep it in your mind. It's different, then you have to remember it carefully. Okay, here is exception 3. If a word connected with one, then a sits before it. Okay, if the word connected with one, that means here is one taka note. One, we know if the word is begin with vowel, we'll use an, but the word is here one, then we will use a, not an. One-eyed man. Here is o. What should we use? What should we use here? A or an? We know if the word is connected with one, then we will use a, not an. Here we will use a. Okay. Before abbreviation there will be an if it pronounced as vowel. Okay, remember it. Before we have learned that before abbreviation we will use a, but there we will use an. The difference is pronounced. If the first letter is pronounced or sounds like vowel, then we will use an. If the first letter is pronounced as consonant, we will use a. M-A, Masters of Arts. So the abbreviation M, the first letter is pronounced as A, M. Then A is vowel, so we will use here N. MBBS, medicine, Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery, Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. The abbreviation is MBBS. The first letter M pronounced as A, vowel. Then we will use here N. Don't mix with consonant and vowel. You have to remember the sounds, how the sounds you can hear or you can pronounce. Then you will be able to answer all this. Okay, in your book you have your exercise, you will practice at home. Okay, let's go the definite article for the. Use of the. Before particular common noun we use the. Before particular or definite or fixed, then we will use the. Okay, remember it, particular. Then the boys are playing. Who are playing? Boys. Then the boys is particular common noun, so before the particular common noun we will use the. Girl is reading. Who is reading? Girl. Girl is common noun and we know who is reading? Girl. Then before the common noun we will use the. Here we will write the. The girl is reading. Number 2. Before the names of river, ocean, sea, mountains, religious book, newspapers, there will be the. Okay, I repeat. Before the names of river, ocean, sea, mountain, religious book and newspaper, there will be the. Just remind it. Before this, you will use the. Okay. Podda. Podda is the name of a river, and we will know before the name of a river we will use the. So here the Podda, Himalayas, mountains, we know before the name of mountains we will use the Himalayas. Religious book, Holy Quran is a Muslim's religious book, so before the religious book we will use the. Remember it, not only Quran, others religious book, before the others religious book we will also use the Bible, the Gita. Okay, before the newspapers, the name of newspaper we will use the. Daily Star is the name of a newspaper, so before the name of newspaper we will use the. The things or objects that have only one in the universe, before those objects there will be the. Remember it, only one things in the universe, like sun, moon, it's only one in this universe. So the sky, there is only one sky in this universe, so before the name of a sky we will use the. Sun is also only one, we will use the. Moon, earth, these are only one number in this universe, so you have to remember it, those rules. If you remember these rules, you will be able to answer all your exercise in your book, in your English second paper book, the TGT or the grammar tree book. You have exercise, you will practice at home very carefully. If you memorize these rules, you will easily can solve the problem. Okay, that's all for today. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Allah Hafiz.